So, you guys are here to hear about Dragon's Crossing? Okay, so we're here to talk about the content of Everquest Next, and we have some great guests here with us today that don't sit on all of our other panels, because you know most of us already right now. But we have a few of the guys from Storybricks here with us, so you guys can ask them questions. Side of the table to the far side, and you're pretty much in level of importance. So on this side we have Brian Schwab, who, and I'm gonna get this wrong, but you're the Chief Technical Officer of Storybricks. Is that your title? All right. And then Stefan, and I'm gonna butcher his last name. Do you have it? Close.
Say your own name.
So he's not from around here. And Stefan, what's your title is?
I'm an designer.
He's from Texas. Okay. We have Steve Menuser, our lead content designer for Everquest Next. He loves the applause. And Darren McPherson, our lead designer of both Everquest Next and Landline. And so I'm going to turn.
Okay, cool. So thanks everybody for coming. This is the AI demo as we just talked about and stuff. So let's get going. So EQN Content is disabled. Other MMOs, NPCs are completely static. So regardless of the peril they claim their village is in, or what master foes are threatening to destroy all life in the universe, the things you do don't really change anything. You're on this treadmill. And you know the exact same story for the next player that comes along, right? And in those cases where something interesting is going on, it usually happens because some designers have made extensive use of some complicated scripting to simulate it. In EQN Next, you won't walk into a new area and see groups of NPCs standing around destinations or events. Instead, dive into areas where events are happening. You'll see NPCs, other players engaging in activities, building, fighting, gathering, whatever. And you can jump in and move the story forward, or push it in other directions to see what happens. And there's tons of stories happening all the time, all over the time. So what you'll experience on a moment-by-moment basis in EQN Next is fundamentally tied to the pillars that Dave talked about. In his keynote speech. And the most important of which is the life of consequence. The things you do in the game matter in tangible ways. Everything starts with NPCs and their interactions with the world.
Okay, so we're going to show you something. You see the Citadel in the keynote. It's a very great place, but you can see NPCs in the Citadel. NPCs in Conquest Next are a bit different because as you can see,
It's loaded.
Oh,
Somebody broke it.
Sorry for the technical problems. You just play it separately.
That'll work. Manual override. I love it.
all right. Let's do this. So, this is the people moving around. What we difference in Everquest Next is that NPCs have their own lives. They have behaviors based on who they are, their races, their role, and their own roles. Here you can see that there are several types of NPCs in this, and they all act captured a nature spirit, and she's draining the life essence of the necroser, and she's putting it in the shadow, and the shadow is used to power darkness magic. Here is a scout. The scout, you can see it as a guard, but actually it knows the places around you, and it can use the portals to find vantage points. Warriors can use the shadow essence that has been collected to power the fortress and can use very powerful weapons. If you drop new characters in the scene, the other can understand. For instance, here is a priestess that is where the
Queen's robe.
The Queen's robe, and everybody understands who she is and reacts accordingly.
So this is not scripted behavior. With NPC, we could have put a crown on the NPC's head, and that's the crown of the king, which is symbolic and makes a difference. And suddenly all the NPCs around them react to that. We could have in the middle of the town, you have a scary necromancer right through, and everyone was scared and leaves. Not because we scripted it, just because of what that character, that NPC necromancer, represents. Yeah. And what he does, what his influences.
Right, we're dropping things in the world that are radiating influences that NPCs pick up on.
For instance, we saw the scout, they're actually in the area that there is no patrol path. They will react to where the teleporters are, where the connections are, and they will adapt.
Okay, so in this game world, in which the NPCs have drives that move them around through the world, how are you guys, the players, going to find these quest givers and be guided to the content? Can I answer that question? Unfortunately, we do. So you're getting away with content. You can access your copy of the magic on Rohsong, which was also talked about last week too. So Rohsong is your atlas, it's your bestiary, it's your lore repository. It's a living record of your travels through the United States. So Rohsong guides you towards new places to explore. It reveals conflicts in the world that you can take part in. Conflicts in which you get to make meaningful choices and push the action of those events. So as you play, Rohsong remembers the deeds you do, the things you do, the choices you make. Rohsong remembers, and it serves as a constant companion on your journey. So it weaves together the story of your character's actions in the world. This is your story.
Okay, so we've shown you how individual NPCs behave, but this is also true since it's then our groups of NPCs. Groups also needs and right and roles. We're not just talking about trying to forward invading the image and NPCs and scale. Also the NPCs that are good example. We mean things like villagers reacting to the violence, becoming because people act differently where they're starting. Or we're talking about what happens when an ancient temple is discovered and the power of a forgotten god begins influencing the people around them. These changes in turn create opportunities for players' interaction. NPCs do not act alone, they will need your help to act. And sometimes you will also need to interfere with the plans. Because what happens is that when groups of NPCs are both, these will trickle down to the members of groups and learn to interact with actual NPCs. And it also establishes patterns of behavior that can learn. And the world of the stories makes sense in the world.
So story is the backbone of everything we do on Conquest. And the unique way that EQN delivers a story is by projecting narrative through the world, the events of the world. So we take the races, the kingdoms, the organizations, and even individual NPCs that we've written into the lore, and we create behaviors and desires based on those stories. So what is the action going on? What do the Knights of Truth care about? What are the Runny-Eyed Goblins after? By dropping NPCs with opposing drives in a location with resources in the world that we care about, we have endless opportunities for conflict. So players come into the equation and react to the NPC desires. And it'll be players who push these stories into the directions that they choose. So let's look at an example of how this works in game. Okay, so this is something. Maybe a map. So this is a map of the main continent. It has appears at the start of the game. So we have Antarctica to the west and Rome to the east, broken apart by the devastation of the ash fall. And we'd like to draw your attention to one particular location. The red highlight shows an area where the Serpentine Mountains meet typical forest. So these names are obviously familiar to you folks. And as we call them in the keynote, the EQN Next is a reimagining of the story. And so the lore could be slightly different. I'll give you a quick run through the storyline. So way back thousands of years before the start of the game, Kithra was a site of a battle, this huge battle between the Seraphs, who are the gods of EQN Next, and the Ravens, which are these horrible monsters born out of pure chaos and magic. And a lot of Seraphs survived this war. And among them was Norrath, goddess of nature. So the blood flows out and mingles with the chaos magic and seeps into the earth itself, which causes all these nasty, corrupt magic to permeate the world. So sometime later, the Seraph Aralisi, who assumed Tanara's role as protector of nature, puts pockets of powerful dryads around the forest so that their nature magic will hold this evil at bay. And that works for a long time until events change.
So we wanted to show you something how the system tells the story. We've been talking about how AI drives the story of and for the first time we're going to do that of how it works. We're going to show you the tool we use to simulate like the story generating system. The tool roughly simulates how players make choices when dealing with NPC groups. What you must be aware of is that this is a very abstract tool, something that you use that you will never see in the game. And it works at a much higher stage because it's a simulation of what you actually play through and experience. Also, well, we say it's an exclusive video because it's probably the last time we've ever shown this anywhere. But we feel that because we care about what it's the right place to show.
Dynamic story generator. How a player interacts with the
We'll
quest line.
talk through the story in a series of 4 scenarios. So in this first scenario, we have a band of kobolds who's moving into the mountains. And so what this map on screen represents is the area where typically one meets Serpent's Mine. So the range parts to the left of the image.
See all the dots flashing.
The bigger area on the right, which is grayed out right now, is typically one.
So on this map, which you see they divided into different communities, there is a red part, and this is where the kobolds have established a foothold on the Serpent's Spire. The color indicates that the kobolds have influence over random regions. And this means that when the player explores this place, or when they go through it, they have a chance of encountering the kobolds and interact with it, which probably means or the bushfire. As we just explained, the group has a role as a trait which affected the group. And in this case, the kobolds are mostly motivated by greed, which means that they seek to secure control of wealthy regions, here using previously by lands, and they want to flood other regions. So let's try. Okay, so I'm going to run one step of the simulation, and you see that the kobolds are already gathered and taking control of a new region, and we can see that they are establishing a new baseline at the limits of their region, and we see that what their goal is to increase the wealth. And if we continue running the simulation, we can see that they are autonomously, they conquer a region as well, and they start other and so on and so forth. What is interesting is that they react autonomously, and if we change the world, for instance, let's put it and discover the new gold mine. They will immediately try to plunder it. This means that, for instance, if there is a caravan, a trade route that goes through the territory, they will attack it because the caravan is a source of wealth. Alright, so we've seen how characters, NPCs,
completely without our limits.
yes,
These NPCs are set up, they have their tribes, their organizations are set up, and they have the things they want and need, and they will go and get them. So we just want the thing rather than you guys have to log in and roll change something different. NPCs that are in a new area or been sponsored in a new area, and that sort of thing continues to change. So the world is not the same place as you log in one week, you log in the next. It's completely different. And this is one of the big changes from the static world that you're used to this new, much more dynamic.
So if there are more players online conquering a certain area that the NPCs used to have, and then we take control of that, when we come into the game, we'll see that our side, so to speak, has
Well,
control.
we'll talk about that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So that's exactly the idea is that, okay, we've shown you what happens when the gold are left on the road. And if there were no players, well, there will be kobolds and orcs everywhere. But what happens when the players get involved? What we want to do in the Everquest Next is to put players' activities and gameplay at the heart of the story. NPC groups actually, and most of them require the assistance of the players to satisfy. The NPC groups can only change the world through the actions of the player. So when an NPC initial goals are satisfied, it creates new needs, which in turn opens new quests, and it's a loop of content that is always
Yeah, when we're setting up these factions, these organizations, we're essentially creating a hierarchy of needs for them. So there's things that drive them first and foremost. When those things are met, then they move on to a different drive and desire. So NPCs can react to the changes that you're doing and shift to a different behavior based on meeting some goal, for example. Yeah, so in the second scenario, so the Dark Elves are coming in, they're building up resources because they come back into the world and they want to establish their own kingdom. And so they're advancing in the Serpent's Mountains. So their goal is to build a in which they can seize control of this region and then ultimately expand their influence in the Pacific world because they can sense that there's magic permeating there and the Dark Elves want that magic.
However, when they arrive, they're not yet powerful enough to deal with the common infestations. They need the players' help. So their first goal is to secure their stronghold, to increase the defense. The players can contribute to this by helping the Dark Elves expand their influence in territory to reach territories with resources that they can that, like iron or obstacles with which the forged weapons or
Iron is French for iron.
Iron.
So what happens if the players don't help out?
Well, the elves suffer the consequences of this because we don't control this. We offer content to the players, and if the players don't help the elves will be in trouble. We've seen in the kingdom the attack of the kingdom. So let's have a look at what it is. So the first need that the elves are is to strengthen their settlement, and they reach a source of resources that can help them, and when we have them there, we will wait and we consume it, and then we can start from the area where we can get again, which means that elves then we will have their clear the path for new resources and we gain control of new territory. And we kind of get to new compounds. And when they've done that, they can start doing just what Steve was talking about, which is increasing the measure of power. You've seen the shunting that was in the video, and that's what we're doing now. The players where
So we've said that this is an abstract tool, and we realize it kind of looks like a risk board or something like that. So you have to kind of imagine yourself. Obviously, when you guys have these tools and things that are in 3D and you draw things in the world and stuff, so you can kind of imagine each one of those sections of the map being like an area within a zone, and there might be some point of interest that's there, maybe some mine shaft or a lost temple or whatever it is. And so you can picture one of those areas being one place where one event is happening. Now, those are dotted all over this place, and there's all kinds of points of interest in those zones, you know, and there's stuff going on scattered around at all those locations based on storybricks that we put around that are radiating around these points and NPCs that are happening.
What's interesting about that last slide is that gray area is difficult. There's a very content of all there is very light. It does not echo or lend to this story at all. You have to help darken it in order to advance that story. And if you don't, as Stefan said earlier, that won't be, it's not a cruise control, it won't just happen. Players choose not to participate, and you'll never experience this story like this.
So imagine yourself, you know, wandering the world and finding these little pockets and, oh, I wonder what's going on here, and you start interacting with things, and it starts pushing stories. So we're going to go into the third scenario. So here, as we saw in the simulation, the Dark Elves have taken over Serpent's Mine, and they built their stronghold, and they've constructed in there what they call a shadow, which is radiating shattered energy, and they want to feed that. So now their objective has changed. So they want to move into Gryffindor, which has all those dryads in it that were placed there long ago, and they want to take the nature essence of the dryads and convert it into shadow power, which is what they learned to use during their exile on Norrath.
So this scenario is an example of how conflict can arise between NPC groups with opposing drives. Because on one hand, the drives want to preserve the nature power, and on the other hand, the drives want to take the nature and convert it to shadow. So now each player in the region has a choice. Can work on the behalf of the darkness, killing dryads and extreme places of nature power, or can work on the behalf the dryads, actually dark cat party, or infiltrated with the cats, or change their resources. And we don't weigh these choices, these are your choices. That's how so again, this is a simulation. So what happens is that we see the darkness using their shadow and spread shadow from into the physical. When the darkness do that, they have higher power, higher fighting power in the region, and so they can conquer that the dragons and the allies of the dragons can fight back. And that's where the situation happens. We see that there is a back and forth struggle, and it simulates how players can take sides. Okay, maybe we should look at one possible outcome of this, but first,
so as players are choosing opposing sides, so you can imagine how situations like this could lead to optional PvP scenarios like that, for example. So again, these wouldn't just be random PvP fights that happen in the area. This is something you could opt into. But these would be battles that you would care about because they too are affecting the story of the world. And if you don't want to participate in PvP, that's fine. You can undertake missions on behalf of NPC groups and indirectly interfere with what players on the other side are doing. So by choosing sides in conflict, you're earning standing with NPC groups, which can in turn lead to new content opening up to you. So, for example, if you gain faction standing with one of these groups, that might allow you to purchase prestige items or even unlock new classes. So, again, there's classes all over the world that you're going around and collecting from mission to content. And so, Rohsong remembers the actions that you've taken and the organizations that you've chosen to be And then Rohsong, in turn, will suggest places for you to go with events that are of particular interest to your faction standing or the way you've been playing.
So we've been showing basically what happens on the server, the stuff that you usually don't see. And we will go into something that you are a little bit more familiar with now, which is running.
Yeah. So in this outcome of the previous scenario, if the Dark Elves were able to take control over half of the Dryad's territory, the Dryad power then to hold the darkness back becomes so weakened, and they can no longer hold back the dark spirits that were looking to them. So this scenario is an example of how player actions, by playing through the procedural content in an area, might trigger around which are those gigantic world-changing events. And so in this case, the Dark Elves have triggered the Mythical round, which triggered players from all over the server here to fight back against the ancient darkness that's moving through. So it's an event that will leave Mythical permanently changed, and it, depending on how it turns out, it has the potential for those undead spirits to start bleeding into other nearby territories as well. So this is just a graph kind of showing the dynamics at a really high level of the Bloody Mythical realm. So in the upper left, you have these spirits that have been contained for a long time. And when nature gets depleted to the point where it can't hold it back anymore, then shadows start dominating the land. So this happened because players chose to help the Dark Elves. So, surprise, the actions that you have consequences. And sometimes it can lead to whole new things that you didn't see coming over time. So your actions always have consequences. So the Dark Elves were after the shadow power, right? They're taking the nature essence and converting it to shadow. But what they didn't realize was that the undead spirits, so these ancient spirits that have awakened, seek to then to rise up and start consuming the nature essence that's left of them, the Dryads, because by consuming it, that'll in turn fuel their own power. So when the undead spirits have built up enough shadow power, their influence starts spreading into new territories. They start conquering those pieces on the list. And as the area controlled by them expands, they're continually consuming all those pockets of nature power that are around them. And when the shadow power of the spirits reaches a certain threshold, now it starts unleashing these powerful shadow elements that in turn are spreading around the world. So you can imagine the stages of this event where things keep getting worse and worse, and now these terrible, these massive elementals are unleashing all the shadow power all around you. So now those surviving Dryads are calling upon players for help. So, and they can tell you that to stop these evil spirits from advancing, you've got to seek out the stronghold where the ancient spirits were locked away long ago, and you've got to destroy their place of hiding. And that will weaken the dark spirits enough that the imaginative Dryads can be restored and take them once again.
So you must understand that each time we run this scenario, we don't go forward with it. We have different results. So I'm not sure what will happen. Let's take a third. So the dark spirits right now, they're in slumber, they're dormant. And you see that most of the nature has been depleted. So now you can look at that. And you can start spreading the influence by the darkness and become aware of the spirits and start fighting back. And the dragons. And when the spirits come onto a territory in which there is nature essence, they react totally differently even if it's the same source that the darkness is. They consume it and they destroy it, which means the world is changing forever here. Let's try to see what's happening.
Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
Dark Elves now.
Okay.
Is there a druid in the audience?
Run it again. I want to see.
We've just seen an example in which you guys survive. Most of the time they don't survive. That's okay.
Dark Elves!
server because here, all the nature has been destroyed. So even if you're able to repel the spirits, the dark spirits, and destroy this stronghold, you still have to restore the land because if there's no nature that's here, as is the case here, there's no more nature. They will come back. So suddenly there is a new layer of content that's being opened because it failed.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine these scenarios having not just one outcome, but multiple outcomes, depending on what actions people are taking as well.
And you can see now, people are surviving right. It's very much.
So the notion of the Pandora's box is definitely a key feature of our content. That we can do things, perhaps with the best intentions of restoring the dark elves, and helping them against, something as simple as, well, let's just let them take some of this territory, and that ruins the world. Right? And that's your doing. Good job.
Parts of the world. Well, all right, could be the whole world, but so this is what we talked about players having a choice. So you might have chosen to help the Dryads against the Dark Elves, which would have allowed the Dryads to keep the darkness at bay. So on a server that made this choice, the Bloody Mythical rallying call would not have been triggered. So this could make that server stand out from others where that didn't take place. So some rallying calls might come around once, others might come around again. So maybe on the server that didn't trigger it now, a few months down the road, events transpire that it can be triggered again, and there's another chance to make that rallying call happen. So remember that while these rallying calls are these huge, monumental, world-changing events, there's multiple rallying calls happening around the world. So these are real high-profile events that we will guide you to. So you'll always have a choice about where you want to spend your time, which organizations you want to help, which causes you want to fight for, as you literally make history happen all around. So we've spent a lot of time telling you about this one particular scenario, but like we said, Norrath is a living world that's brimming with these kinds of events. So while the Dark Elves were moving in on picnic lore and dealing with that, the Lizardmen discovered this temple to a faceless god in the fear. The Knolls of Black Arrow were amassing for a war against the Locks. A shrine brimming with the energy of the Norrath and threatening jagged line. Troll clans are raising havoc in the swamps of Uptown. And there's tons of these events unfolding over Norrath. Things for you to discover. So we've only talked about a few of the resources that NPCs might be after. And the question marks represent lots of other kinds of resources and things that we reveal over time that these NPCs in the world will care about. You can just imagine what all the different organizations, the groups, the factions that you've encountered, that all the different things that they might care about, and those drives are what fuel these stories. So Norrath is a world that is full of stories, and it's going to be your characters who determine how the stories unfold. That's the content of Everquest Next. So now we're going to take the questions.
So nobody has any questions. We're going to form a line right over here on this side, and then bring out one at a time and to see if we can get some more information from these guys. All right.
That's where you need to be facing.
I'm so sorry I interrupted that. I forgot to answer okay, a few questions. Freeport and Keynote is typically in the past when we started out, we couldn't talk to each other. Is that going to be something that's going to continue? Grouping, talking together, Freeport?
Freeport and Kinos and other games that have been able to speak to one another because there are different factions. Is that something that's going to exist in each match?
Good question. So, Freeport, Kinos, the beginning of the game, there is no Freeport. Right? I mean, this is a totally different world. Now, actually, that's actually not true. It exists. But will you know about
What state it's in, or what's going on in there is something that you will discover in the course of the game. But I think about the spirit of your question is, like, are there going to be these hard lines that prevent you from talking to your friends who are affiliated with other groups or organizations or might have different factions? And the answer is no. We don't want to divide people that way. There's no hard choice between I'm A or B, I'm blue or red.
We don't have that.
Do you associate with people of faction that maybe now if I'm talking to the Irish faction, they might know what
Okay, so there will be some consequences.
The MPCs definitely know what you've done, who you've aligned with, and they'll react to it. Again, there's those layers where they're looking at the things that you've done and who you've done things for in the past. And if they don't like another organization, that will affect how those groups deal with you. But it's not going to prevent you from talking to your friends.
Before you listen to the next question for the guys, is it okay for me to stand in for the speaker here with the mic? Okay, let's move over here. That way they can hear you. So we'll stand here.
So in regards to, like, for the example that we have up there with the Dark Elves kind of taking over or that kind of thing, and then you had said Zerger in the house, typically or historically, has there been a balance in regards to who's on the good side and who's on the bad side? Because I thought typically there were a lot of, like, I know Dark Elves are really, really popular, so I know there's a lot of way on one side or the other.
In terms of like races, if they're good or bad.
Yeah. How many people are usually in the good side or the bad side? Is it pretty balanced? Is that right there?
We don't have red team versus blue team. We don't have. You can be an elf institution, be bad guy if you want to. What that means is that you affiliate with organizations that have motives that you can consider difficult.
Okay, gotcha. And then finally, in regards to rally calls, let's say, for example, your life takes over or can't get into the game. Is there any way that we can be notified via email or some kind of notification that says, hey, by the way, we're going to go rally calls? I think you come into the game and go, crap, I missed it.
You see stuff in your inbox all the time about, us alerting you of expansions that are coming out of games and stuff like that. I think it's safe to say that when these high-profile events are happening, that we will find ways to.
the big difference is that we have also, and Rohsong is basically yes. I don't know what into as well.
Sure, but if I don't log into the game, I'm not going to get
So, boy, I mean, they come in there, so they can
It's going to make a real song.
Okay, so the simulation is there anything in the AI where you might have two groups that are really, let's say, kobolds on the left side, DEs in the middle, and humans on the right, and these humans are working together, where the kobolds are pushing in, and there's no players around to help the Dark Elves. Can they call on humans who might send some guards or some troops in, just from the AI's perspective, to help with that conflict?
What we showed you was what we would consider to be a very simplistic example of what goes on. There are, as you mentioned a few of them, there are a lot of organizations that you can affiliate with and work with. And there will be, I can say that there's probably 4 or 5 people who care about wealth. In our right now roster of organizations who care about money. And there will be lots of situations where there are a group of people who, they do not oppose one another directly, but they're both after the same business. And so the lines of choices may not always be good for people. It might be much more gray.
Yeah, those are the questions we was more about. Will the AI cooperate with one another? Even though they're different organizations.
Yeah, humans are really concerned about their borders, right? And right now, the Dark Elves are okay friends with them. They're not enemies. But they recognize that people are the enemies when they make enemies.
Yes. We have relationships between organizations, and they know who the line is in the development, and they try to use as a goal of another organization and work towards that goal.
But that changes your mind.
Thank you.
And I just want to reiterate something that you guys don't think that the simulation you saw, like Stefan said at the beginning, that's not what the game's going to look like. That was just done so you guys can see what happens over a long period of time with lots of different factors. So it's just abstracted, so it's a little easier to see it all happening in a 20-minute or 30-minute.
Just stuff
Yeah,
that's full.
these events will be playing out over days, weeks, just depends on what's going on.
Okay, so you said that our choices matter, but you also mentioned factions. To begin with, how important are my choices going to be if at the end of the day I can always just say, hey, I left my faction with you guys, but now I'm CEO of my ways, so please forgive me, I'll go get some dryads now, and maybe not do it. It's a super good question, because we've been talking about that from the inception of this project, and there are two ways. We talked about how we can get that to actually, it may not just be that change rights, maybe there is a path to give it back in the good graces of the given faction. But it's not just kind of recognition bar, it's more of a
I was going to say, if we use the word optimum, use words that you guys are familiar with, like faction, and it immediately brings to mind some other names. Don't necessarily associate faction and queue with what we're saying in faction. It's just another way of saying organization, group of people. It's not a bar where it's like, oh, I got a faction, and I want to do these guys. It's not like that.
Yeah, it's much more complex. And organizations, they each have, in addition to their drives and the things that they're after, they have essentially the links they're willing to go to satisfy those drives, and those can be different. So, a more complex example. So, say you have the Action Order, who's monks that are spiritual, and you have the Knights of Truth, where there's no real kind of fighters. Then they're both good guys, right? On the surface, it seems like they're both after altruistic things. But the Action Order, they come into the area and they see this corruption there. They'll probably try to cleanse the corruption and increase spirituality in that area to make it in its place again. Whereas the Knights of Truth would come in there, and if the corruption reaches a certain threshold, they'll just start killing everybody because they hate corruption and are militants, and they're much more willing to take extreme measures to do that. And if the Action March goes up, they wouldn't want the Knights of Truth are doing that. And so were you helping them slaughter a bunch of stuff just because the Knights of Truth told you to? The Action March doesn't have an issue with that. So there's a lot of complexities, not just in terms of like moving one faction, like Gary said, but it's the way you decided to solve these problems. And that's what's different. You're not being given a quest that says kill 10 of this, kill 5 of that. You're being told to solve a problem. And the way that you choose to solve that problem is as important to these organizations as the fact that you did it.
That's good.
Say that I choose to tackle Goliath because I want to be told how to be a tempest or a spell sword or whatever. And then 10 other people decide to tackle the race instead. And so whatever progress I'm trying to make, they're undoing. Okay, I'm still getting progress, but say that I'm late starting and then the dryads are completely wiped out. So we talk about people very quickly, but also the first part of the Elves compared to Conquest. And there's no gray area. They'll be both like Conquest and Conquest that let you choose to repel, and Conquest will basically take sides with everything. That's not what I mean. If I have a specific goal to learn the Tempest class, and so I'm helping this particular group who will teach me how to combat class, but then all the other players come up and wipe out this group before I finish my quest and get this class. What then?
Our plan is to put content in that can be wiped out by the actions of other players. So we wouldn't hide a class behind something that's going to give you no other way to explain that class. Keep in mind that these organizations are spread throughout the world too. They're not just in this one bed here. So we're not confining you to, hey, I have to go to this one mountaintop and meet this one guy and do 3 things for him, and then he's going to announce his quest or his class. There could be multiple opportunities around the world where you can do that same thing.
So what I was going to say was, we never said that that's the only place in the world where I are.
It's tricky because there's a lot of things that as players of other games are used to, the way the content is so just locked into this one thing. And you kind of have to think of it differently because of the way that this procedural stuff, it picks us up so much to tie things differently and have stuff seeded all over the world instead of locked into this one static way.
Can you, assuming there's no mechanic for changing the frames, parsing patterns, or fragmenting, could you later go back and reverse one zone to conserve effort like finding a lot of nature generated stuff? You can actually reverse some of those things that happen. He said there's a permanent change that's not really permanent, but actually conserve effort or build or improve.
So it's perfect to understand that if you don't do anything, it will stay like that. If you act, because you probably you have that you help right and bring that picture of the area to you, it's not doing that, it's perfect.
Yeah, so you are this hero, and you as a player can start making choices. You can be a conduit for the action orders of influence or druidic orders that make influence, and you can bring that influence into areas that didn't have before and affect what goes on.
It's always possible for you to create an organization to do a thing, and to drive a community effort to do this. Like you said, posting on the Druid forums, for instance, saying, hey, you know what we should do on this server? We should fix typicals. And making that a community effort, you can change the rules.